This video is a basic look at the Blue Letter Bible website and some basic Greek features that website has. We will navigate to blueletterbible.org, and here's the opening page. I'm going to pick either NASB 95 or NASB 20, and there's a few reasons for that, but it makes our lives much easier later. Then I will pick a verse, so 1 John 2:1. Here's a list of our verses, and they're listed vertically. I'm going to click on the actual verse itself. I can click on tools or I can click on the verse. It does the same thing. I'm going to click on the verse, and notice that it shows the morphological GNT on the top. This is based on the Greek text called Nestle Aland 28, which is a very good Greek text. And we have that on top because we picked NASB at the beginning. So that's something to remember. I'm going to click Forward Interlinear. It defaults to reverse, but I want forward interlinear. We have the verse up on top, teknia mu, tauta, grapho, humin. And now I see these words in the verse listed here vertically. So teknia, that is the inflected form, the form that appears in the text. Then right below it is the lexical form, teknion, and that is the nominative singular form of that noun. I have the Strong's number here in English from the NASB, and then I have the parsing over here on the right. And so I can hover over it and get the parsing. I can also click on it, and the parsing will show up in a way that's not dependent on where my cursor is, and that can be handy. And I can then track down the verse, find all the parts of speech. If I'm looking for a particular kind of word like verbs, these are green and they begin with V, so I can just look for all the greens that begin with V. If I'm looking for nouns, I can look for these tan colored squares that begin with N. So there's one, there's another one here, and I get the parsing each time. There's another noun here, another noun, another noun. I can look for adjectives, not too many in this verse, I guess. There's one down here. Dikaion, righteous. And I can find prepositions under prep, or that light green color. So this is laid out well for finding particular parts of speech. I have these nice color-coded ovals, and then the parsing is available. And again, I can click on that parsing and come up with a window that gives me all the information that I need. In this case, a verb, present, active, indicative, first person singular. That's what this verb is here, grapho. As with Bible Hub, I can click on the Strong's number. So here's an example. Hemarteta. Click on the Strong's number, and I get the lexical form here, hamartano. Now I'm going to come down to the Thayer's Greek Lexicon entry. I'm going to click Show All, and it's going to give me the entire entry. What's nice, though, is look at the bottom here. It says the BLB Scripture Index of Thayer's. This is going to tell me if there are Septuagint entries that are listed in Thayer's. And so I can click on, let's say, Exodus 32:30, and it will pop up to where the Exodus 32:30 is listed in the Thayer's entry. And I can do that, let's say, for Judges 20:16. I'll click on that, and it will pop up. The very top will show me where the Judges 20:16 entry is. So this is very handy for a large entry like this. This is a pretty substantial entry in Thayer's. I can come down here and I can track where the Septuagint is referenced. And then I can also do that for New Testament references. So I want to see, well, where's Luke 15:18 referenced? I can do that right there. Oh, there it is. It's referenced here under this particular meaning, to commit sin or to commit a sin. And so Luke 15:18 is being shown to be a place where the meaning to commit sin is So I click on Exodus 32:30 and it takes me right to the place in Thayer's where this is being referenced. And notice that it is under this B definition here, to commit a sin or to commit sin. In Exodus 32:30, I can hover over it and see the verse here. And it says, and it came to pass on the morrow that Moses said to the people, and it comes up in King James, ye have sinned a great sin. And so the Septuagint has hamartano, and it's being used in this sense of to commit sin. I can come down and do the same thing for Judges 20:16. Click on that. It comes up and shows me where this Judges entry ends. And the Judges entry is coming up under this idea of missing a mark or wandering from the path of uprightness. And so the Judges idea here is a little bit different. It says, among all the people, there were 700 chosen men, left-handed, even one could sling stones at a hairbreadth and not miss. So this is a different idea. This is the idea of not missing a target. So an interesting alternate definition that we get from Judges, but please be careful how you use this information. The Septuagint of Judges was written 200 years before the time of the New Testament. The verb hamartano does not mean to miss the mark in the New Testament. It means to sin. So these scripture indexes into Thayer's that we find in the Blue Letter Bible are very handy if we want to do a more in-depth word study. Finally, let's come down and look at the concordance entries. And so here down at the bottom, we have the various places where hamartano appears in the New Testament. This is the NAS, and so it shows the Strong's number next to the word that's being translated. So sins, sin, sinned, sinned, pretty consistent in the New Testament. One other feature is a Septuagint concordance. I can come to where it says view OT results in the LXX Greek concordance, and this will give me all the verses where this word appears in the Septuagint. Now, right now I'm defaulted to the NASB. I can switch this over to the LXX, and now it shows me the Strong's number for the word as it shows up. This is a little deeper than we need to go right now, but this will be useful potentially later for word studies. So we'll back it up here, come back up to 1 John chapter 2, and when I click Tools again or click the verse again, then it gets rid of the information, and now I just have the verses. I can go on to the next verse if I want to, take a look at its information, and then to the next one, etc., etc. In summary, these tools have strengths and weaknesses depending on what you want to use them for.